Okay, welcome. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, and this is the regularly scheduled meeting of the North Shore Fire Department Board of Commissioners. We're going to open with roll call. Amy?
Good evening, Commissioner Admin.
Here.
Commissioner Pratt.
Present?
Commissioner Byers is absent. Commissioner Webster.
Here.
Commissioner Woolham.
Here.
Chief Cowan.
Here.
We do not have legal counsel present.
I told him that it wasn't necessary.
And I'm Board Secretary Amy Oakley.
All right. Thank you, Amy. Item number 2, public comments. Do you have any submitted public comment?
None in advance. Let me just do one more chat.
Okay, any members of the audience online? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Approval of agenda. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
I think it's been moved and seconded. Any debate on the agenda? Discussion? Nope, seeing none. Let's take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And the aye. Any opposed? All right, passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Item number 4, board discussion and possible action items. 4.1, discussion of legal counsel participation in board future meetings. Okay, we need to decide whether we need to continue to have Mr. Paxton at all of our meetings, if we need a second attorney for the RFA, if we need one specifically for the North Shore Board meetings. There's not a lot of business being done. It's really about confirming the vouchers and elections and any other important information.
Now and then you guys might have stuff to do, but it's not gonna be much. I asked Matt to be at the first 2 RFA meetings, and then the RFA, I felt like the governing board can make a decision. Summit Law is our general counsel. And what is interesting and kind of nice in a way is that both Brian Snur and Matt Paxton are in the same law firm now. We do use Brian Snur for contract stuff, things like that.
Is that
anything to do with RFA, but
is that law firm that you referenced, Summit Law?
no, Summit Law is our general counsel. That's Kristen Anger's usually the one we use. Matt Paxton's is CSD, and they have a partnership with Snur Law now. So I think Brian's still working on a CTAC, but they're affiliated now. So I asked Matt to be at the first 2 RFA board meetings because we were still working through stuff and making sure that there wasn't any questions that came up. My recommendation is that you wouldn't need, legal counsel at the North Shore District. But that's your decision.
So it'd be a subsequent discussion about whether we have legal counsel at the RFA meetings. That would be at the RFA.
Correct.
Okay.
We typically, Shorelines, I typically have not unless we've had a need, for counsel. But I would like to get through the first, like I said, first couple of meetings at least before we say, okay, we're good.
Commissioner Webster.
Well, I think that if we have a legal question that comes up they're gonna be fairly short meetings in the future. And if we have a legal question, we can ask a question and get it at our next meetings.
Yeah, or if it's something that's in a more of an immediate nature, I can get direction from the board and they get back to the chair or to the entire board,
Right.
With whatever information. I just feel like there's probably not much of a need.
I agree.
Okay, well, I would like to have a conversation with Mr. Paxton.
Okay.
And make sure that Tyler's here as well to participate in that conversation. So maybe I could have that conversation or we could have that conversation with him at the next RFA meeting that he's going to be attending.
Yeah, I did ask him to attend the next meeting, the next RFA meeting, so on the 15th, he should be here.
Okay.
Well, remotely.
So,
More like
Josh,
that.
do you mean at the RFA meeting or at the board meeting preceding the RFA meeting?
It would be an R meeting preceding the RFA meeting.
Yeah.
Are we first or are we second?
Well, so,
Has that been determined?
I was, we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but, so we need to set the schedule tonight. And my recommendation is the second Thursday of each month at 5:15. Would be the District 4 or different District 16 meeting.
Yeah.
But just the timing of this. I was also gonna ask that you don't have the meeting on the 15th. So that Shoreline could have, the District 4 could have the meeting. We can do both. But District 4 really needs to have that meeting because District 4 has to set the regular scheduled meetings as well. Because the Shoreline, the District 4 meeting was before the RFA meeting last week, so they couldn't set the regular scheduled meeting. So
Because the RFA
depending on what happens tonight, I was either gonna go at 5 or 5:15 on the 15th for the District 4 meeting.
Okay.
Does that make sense? We could still do both districts before the RFA, but it would really depend on what business that we need to have for District 16.
The 15th, the meeting's here, correct?
Yes.
51.
And that typically will be the District 16 meeting. But just for this one, I need to have a District 4 meeting as well. And we could do both. I mean, we could, just start at like say 5 or, or something like that, do 5 and then 5:15 and then 5:30. If we need to have a meeting. The other complication, as you all know, is that the second meeting in June is now been moved to the 26th. Because of the first week of June had a conflict for conferences, but then the second meeting of June is the June 19th, which is Juneteenth. So both meetings in June, I'm really jumping ahead to our meeting schedule conversation, but both meetings in June are going to be moved. So we could still have the June 26th meeting here. It'll just be 1 week later than what it would have been.
Well, at any rate, at the next
Yeah.
available opportunity, I think it would be good for us to have a conversation with Paxton.
Are you okay if we bump that to
The 26th.
the 26th?
He's not planning to be at that meeting though.
No, but you could certainly have a conversation with.
There's not.
Well, you could have a conversation with him even offline and.
Yes. That's
As the
fine.
chair and talk and feel
Yeah,
happy or not, or whatever, bring back whatever information you want, or invite him to. The June 26th meeting. He will be at the RFA meeting. You could have an offline conversation with him at that point too, not as a group, not
Yes,
making a decision, but. So
and we'll make our decision then at the meeting on the 26th.
June 26th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think historically. We had the legal counsel present as kind of a reference and sort of a risk management strategy.
Right.
But I feel like the scope of our district specific decision making has been reduced significantly, so I think I'd be fine with that we don't, unless we have a specific question, which. We could probably handle offline, so that's just my perspective going into it.
Okay, any other discussion on item 4.1?
I would agree with Eric. I also don't think we need him at every one. That's just my opinion, though.
I would say it's been really, I was from the outside looking in, I was like, oh, legal counsel at every meeting, but it has been a big benefit, I think, mostly because too, North Shore is very lean on admin staff. And so some of the stuff that he was doing was really great filling in gaps, and I've enjoyed working with him. But I just believe that I think with most of the consensus here that it's a decreasing, value to the district.
Yeah, and I would say, it hasn't been that big of an issue in the you know, recent past, but there were times when I was really.
Yeah,
glad
that's
that he
true.
was there.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it actually, no, and that's what I mean, is that there's been times it's like, oh, hey, Matt, what do you think? You know, I mean, so
Right.
it's been kind of nice at times.
Okay. Any more discussion there? No, okay, item 4.2, discussion of North Shore board meetings, websites,
Let's see.
yeah, okay.
I
Amy?
just- I wanted to show you what's changed and so that also it's on the public record. So I'm gonna bring up the website.
While she's doing that, we are going through an overhaul of the website, you know, changing it over to the RFA, cleaning it up, making it more user friendly, et cetera. So, which will be done by the end of June. So it is a work in progress right now. We have tested some of the links and all that from like the RFA meeting, the Zoom. And I tested it and it worked just fine. So,
Okay, so this is the homepage for Shoreline. And under About, there are 2 pages relevant to you. There's board meetings and Board of Commissioners. So under board meetings, we now have all 3 units up, so.
agencies.
Yeah, agencies. So when you first get to the page, some of this will be updated with the Shoreline and North Shore regular meetings, which still have to be passed by resolution. But all meetings, whether they're Shoreline District, RFA, North Shore District meetings will be listed here in this table. So you'll always kind of see what's coming up next. There's a PDF link to the agenda, a PDF link to the agenda packet. So those are all the related materials. And then after the recording, we'll link to, they're all saved on YouTube now. And then as meetings get kind of older, we don't want this just to go on and on. If you scroll further down, this. For North Shore, this is where we transferred from the old site. These are all past minutes. And then all our past resolutions. So as minutes are approved at a meeting, they will be put into this folder for 2025. So when you click on it, it takes a little bit of time to load. There it is. So you can see all the minutes and you can preview them or download them. And then this link here, click here for meeting records, or that should say recordings. I'll have that fixed, but this is the YouTube channel. So this is new. I've been working with Beatrice and Jen to move basically everything that was stored in AV Capture is being transferred to YouTube. So I'll just click on this link. This is a playlist. So Shoreline Fire has a YouTube channel. North Shore Fire District has a playlist. And so right now I've uploaded like 50. So I have uploaded all of 2025, 2024, and 2023 videos. But in AV Capture, we had meetings going back to recordings
2019.
2018. There were some like audio recordings in 2018. So one question I have is, how far back do you want me to keep going in uploading to YouTube? So we had in the old version of the website, we had recordings back to 2018, so I can keep going. I just want some direction.
So I have a question. So it's in AV Capture, right?
Well, we're eliminating AV Capture,
Oh.
so you can't get to AV
We need
Capture
to download whatever.
anymore.
So I guess we're obligated. I'm just thinking about like the legal obligations and record retention and all that sort of thing. I think we're obligated to retain our minutes for X amount of time. Here's a case where you could use the attorney. Is there an
Well, actually,
obligation
I was thinking along the same lines too.
to retain recordings for X amount of time and have them be, so in other words, is
Yeah.
it just our discretion or is there a legal requirement that we guide that decision making?
I'm not sure if there's so we have all the recordings saved on the server. So if someone were to request them in a public records request, we have the electronic versions of the recordings.
Just not.
It's just, what do we decide to make as readily public and available? I can put everything, but I just didn't know if there was an opinion about how far back. I can only upload 10 videos a day, so it's like a little piecemeal to go through it, but it's not hard to do. It's just,
Do we need to go any more than 3 years?
I would recommend, because we have the hard. So really what we're talking about here is ease of accessing the records.
Mhm.
And I feel like a few years is plenty. Just me, that's down. If they really want something from 2018 or 2019, they can ask for it and then through a public records request and we can give it. Recordings, and I don't know if it's changed recently, but it used to not be required. It was an optional, thing to keep from, but the laws have changed, since COVID and everything started going remote. I don't know if they've changed. BOFA, do you know if they've changed for keeping recordings? Are we?
That should not change. I mean, the records retention remains the same, but as
Okay.
far as like whether we, how far back we maintain on our websites and things like that, I think it's up to our discretion as long as we maintain the records.
Right.
They're in
The
itself, the original records within our.
Do we have to maintain the recordings or the minutes? I mean, is there a 7-year or on that or?
I don't know the specific years of the minutes for sure, but the recording, I think,
I think the recordings are not.
may not be, but I can definitely check into that.
Anyway, so we have them on the server regardless. It's just a matter of what is going to be easily accessible from the public.
I think my personal preference would probably be to go back to the beginning of the discussion surrounding contract for service in
That'd be like 21.
21.2,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. So if we go back to
That'd probably be a good.
January 22 through present, we have archived all of the older stuff. If someone from the public would like to request it, or if a commissioner would like to go back and review, for some
Yeah.
reason.
yeah,
That seems reasonable.
okay, yeah, so I'll just keep working on that. I have like the printout of everything that was in AV capture, so I'm just kind of working from most recent
You just keep
backwards.
trying to get rid of us, and then we keep like, no, a little more work, a little more work.
So right now there's 48 videos available. I don't think we have a limit on YouTube. I think you can just keep going and uploading. So there's just a daily limit to how much you can upload.
It is recommended 3 to 5 years for recording.
Okay, so I'll just keep going back, and I know when I started in February of 21, that was prior to the ballot measure with Woodinville, so then anything contract for service would have been after that ballot measure, which I think was the April.
So since we're looking at this website, one thing that I think would be potentially helpful. Would be a statement that just kind of clarifies. So what is the role of the fire district now, each fire district relative to the RFA?
It's like a mission statement kind of.
Well, no, more so like what
function do they serve?
What function do they serve? They all
Well,
still, I mean, do they all, the fact that they all still exist, because I mean, to be honest. I kind of thought in the RFA board that we wouldn't have to have individual board meetings anymore, just at the fire district level.
Me too.
And so I think that they're in we have that level of confusion, but I think that certainly the general public might be like, what the heck, what's, why do we have all these 3 different sets of meetings and why are these ones getting canceled and so on? So I just think maybe somewhere either on the RFA page or on the about page or something, it would just be sort of just a short descriptive narrative that just explains the situation and then where you find the information, but mainly just explains that so that the lay public can grasp it.
No, I agree. I meant, when I said mission statement, it was exactly what you were talking, I just, yeah. A narrative, a descriptive statement, almost like a guiding, statement as to
What are the goals, the different things, like, we're still, assessing the levy and benefit charge, but I guess we're not, they are based, so I
Well,
mean,
for this year, for next year, no.
so.
And so that's the other thing too, is in the future, there will be less and less of a need for the districts.
Mhm.
And the thing that will keep the districts around was it would be if we don't go to commissioner districts or something like that, so that we're electing. Because once we get through this year. And next year, so the UTGO gets paid off next year for 16. For District 16.
Okay.
So we will need to collect on the special levy for the UTGO at the end of this year. Just for that,
Mhm.
but the fire benefit charge and the regular levy will be done through the RFA.
Mhm.
So we'll need to be functional in 2026 at the very least because of that. Then beyond that, it would be really the only function after that for 16 at least would be for the election of commissioners. So there is a potential sunset to the need for a district, but the trigger on that, I think, will eventually be if we go to commissioner districts or something. So that we get that geographical representation, but without electing commissioners from the fire districts.
Sure. Okay.
District 4 is in a similar situation, except the UTGO runs it. Our UTGO, the Shoreline UTGO gets paid off at the end of this year. But we still have an LTGO and impact fees that we're gonna want to collect. So again, there's gonna be a need for at least, and then audits and
Sure.
stuff like that, but.
So just getting back to the website, just to kind of bring it full circle, so I think kind of like. Just saying. What each exists, what they're gonna do, and just like the fact that there will still, people are wondering, why is there a Zoom link and why is there still a short meeting and then why is the meeting canceled? You might just indicate that. This is how the meetings are gonna lay out, and if they don't have any specific business, they'll be canceled, that'll.
If I write up a statement, can I kick it to you and
Tyler?
well, it would be, cause it'll be encompassing both districts too. I'd kick it, well, Barb is our fire district chair. Kim is so I'd kick it to Barb, as the fire district chair. As a general statement to make sure that I'm capturing, what you guys want.
On a side note, I was trying to access the commissioners page yesterday on my phone and was unable to.
Yeah, it was under construction.
Okay,
So I was gonna go to that page if there's no other
Sure.
questions on this one. So one thing I forgot to mention on the YouTube page, the comments are turned off for all videos. I just thought I didn't want to create more records.
Yes,
Like
please.
public records, so
Good thing.
comments are turned off on all videos. So I'll go up to the board commissioner page. So this was under construction yesterday. So now there's just a single board of commissioners page, and this might be where that statement could come in. So this is where the meeting schedule is, although I kind of think it should be with board meetings, or duplicated. Anyway, it's a little under construction still, so, but now all of the commissioners are in, are alphabetical, so we have, they're intermixed. And if you can see, like, it's your name, and then it says either North Shore or Shoreline Commissioner and your position number. The term, when your term expires, your email address and your bio. So everyone is set up the same. And if you have a special role, either in the RFA or the district, those are listed as well. So for example, Commissioner Byers is the RFA vice chair, the North Shore District Chair. He's a North Shore Commissioner and he's position number 3. So
We accept that.
He's not here. I don't know.
No.
do you have any opinions on this?
Oh, that looks good.
That's great.
Okay, so if you want anything changed in your bio, just let me know and I can get that updated.
I would like a picture with my full portrait in there.
Okay, send a picture, please send a photo, and we will get that uploaded.
Sure, okay.
Okay,
I'm not sure, it's a good one, it is a good one.
So one thing that I realized earlier today is that you know, that we have not updated the website for Ken Callahan's passing. So we're gonna write something up, you know, and put it in his place before we just remove him.
so that's all for that page. Are there any questions? Okay, then the final thing I had, it's sort of email and website related, is that North Shore has used a MailChimp listserv and I use it to send out notices when materials are available on the website, and also I use it to post public notice of an upcoming meeting. And the decision's been made to not use that MailChimp, so I'm saying that out loud for the
For the record.
So public notices will now go through the Shoreline Area News, which I think was always the process for Shoreline. And then they'll be posted on the website under board meetings. So they'll be in this box. If it's a special meeting, it'll have the date, the type of meeting, and then if it's a special meeting, there's like a public notice cover sheet that's created, and that would go in this box here on the website.
So talk to me about the decision to not have a list of people that people can sign up for to get notifications about meetings, because Kenmore City Council does that as well.
Part of the thought was that, you know, as things change, this becomes kind of quite a bit more to manage. We do have a master list that we can blast out if there's something special that's coming up that we need people to know about, or, you know, like a town hall meeting or something like that. But we just felt that I guess we shouldn't have made this decision without your input, though. Just felt that it's difficult to manage, because every time we make a change, then you have to send something out, potentially, depending on what the change is. And it just.
What do you mean?
As far as like notices or, you know, if there's packets and stuff that are being, I don't even know what gets sent out.
I think it's just a notification that the meeting is happening. All of the packets and everything lives on the
Okay,
website.
so agendas aren't getting sent out or
No.
anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
what happens at the city of Kenmore is they send out, because you have an interest in city council, because you have an interest in the planning commission,
Mhm.
they send you the notice that the meeting is gonna take place, and then there's a link that you can drill down and look at all the meeting documents that's on it. It's a link to a city website that has all that stuff.
So the blast is a link to the
It just,
website?
yeah, it just says there's a meeting coming up. Here's a link to the meeting agenda for May 12th, 2025, and then you go to the agenda. And then within the agenda, any of the topics also have a hyperlink that will take you to.
That's the way this is set up. If you click on, if the agenda, you can click on it, it'll drop down.
Yeah.
Just same way on that.
I think
My
So-
personal feelings is that if people are interested, then they're interested, and they can.
I think it might be worth a discussion at the RFP meeting, just because I feel like there's different ways. There's like, well, there's different it's a matter of perspective. One perspective is, if you're interested, you're gonna go look it up. But the other is, like, I might be interested in, say, Kenmore City Council or the RFA or whatever. But when I get this little reminder, oh yeah, there's a meeting, what's on the agenda? It's just, you know, they're reaching out to me, I guess, if we're trying. to be, you know,
Right.
get information.
This is Commissioner Wallem. I think definitely there should have been a discussion before it was decided. But also I think that we need to use that MailChimp to let everyone know it's going to be different moving forward, so it doesn't just disappear off the face of the earth. I think we need to let them know where they can find this information in the future and how they can access everything, because if people are paying attention and relying on that and all of a sudden it's gone, there's going to be some frustration in the community. I
Yeah.
would be annoyed if I expected a MailChimp every month to remind me of a meeting and all of a sudden it went away. And I don't know now how to access that.
Okay. I don't think it's our responsibility, but okay, that is important.
No, I agree, Chief, that it's not a responsibility, but it's something that we've done traditionally. It's something that Kenmore City Council does to provide transparency, to encourage public involvement.
It's a different level though with the city, because you're talking about all of this, you know, the city stuff that's going on. I'm fine, you know. It was just something else that we were gonna imagine have to pay for, and I was, so,
I don't think it has a cost related, there's no cost for MailChimp.
oh, there isn't? Oh, I was told there was. Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
AV Capture has a cost,
maybe Capture definitely has a
yeah,
cost, but
but MailChimp does not.
I thought I saw it as no, okay, all right.
I don't
Again,
think-
no, it should be a board decision,
And there's.
not mine.
And cause I manage it, but there's like 650 emails addresses. It's hard to know if they're all real. You know, sometimes MailChimp listservs get a lot of. It's hard to know if they're real people, but there are 600 plus email addresses in the list.
How did that list get populated? Like, how did people sign up for that?
Before, when I first started on the North Shore website, when there was just a North Shore Fire website, there was a like box where you could click to be added to the listserv, to the MailChimp listserv.
We did start populating a list too during the RFA campaign of like, if you want, you know, that's the list that I was referencing earlier. That if you want more information on the RFA or future, you know, whatever's, you know, add yourself to the mailing list, and so
Right.
I don't
And-
remember how many, it's a lot.
Yeah, because I think when that happened, I provided Rebecca with the full MailChimp list
Okay,
to incorporate in the RFA.
do you get bounce backs if it's an invalid list, email?
No, I mean, it's all managed in MailChimp, so I don't
Oh.
actually, nothing comes into
Nothing
my
comes back,
inbox. It's
Yeah,
all,
people can't respond to it.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
but it
it's
is.
just a one-way
I
direction.
I'm part of that list, and it's great.
Yeah, I think it's useful because I think it's a more proactive form of communication as opposed to, hey, come find us. It's like, hey, here's what's going on. And I think it could also be useful, like in the case of the RFA, here we used all those email addresses. So there's other things that may come up where would it be great if we had those email addresses? I feel like it'd be worth requesting it to go on the agenda for
Okay,
the RFA meeting.
yeah, I'll add it.
All right, thank you. Anything else on the website, Amy? Oh, okay. All right,
Thanks for your work.
Sorry that I made that decision. I made a ton of decisions and this was just, sorry.
Oh, it's fun.
okay, item 4.3, chief update on capital projects.
Only thing is that 57 is in process, but I don't know if they've made the purchase yet, but it's still months away.
Are you talking to the generator or were you referring to?
Yes. Then what did I say?
You just said 57. is
Oh,
in
I'm sorry,
process.
57 generator, sorry, my bad. I know that Matt said that they're, that they're working on the purchase, but that once they make the purchase, the delivery still will take months depending on supply chain.
And there was a couple of issues about setbacks with sound control.
Yeah.
And stuff, and that's been, too. I don't know where we're at.
That was some of the
Criteria.
little massaging nuances to this was and noise for that matter too. So
So,
it's a bigger generator than what was what we've had. So
yeah, I'm just thinking that's kind of a operational readiness issue, because I think that's a very unreliable generator that's there right now.
oh, it's very unreliable. I would agree. So
Any other updates there, chief?
not that I can think of. Not off the top of my head at least.
Generator here still on hold.
It wasn't the generator here that we were working on, we were trying
Oh,
to
the
switch
fuel
over the
tank.
fuel tank, yeah. And that's been paused for now. So
All right, so into the meat of our meeting here, item 5, board resolutions. Got 4 of them. So we'll take each one in order. Resolution 2502 is the first one up. Resolution establishing regular meeting schedule. As it's written, this resolution would move the North Shore Board of Commissioners regular meeting to the 3rd Thursday of each month at 5:15 p.m. That's the 3rd Thursday of each month at 5:15 p.m. Any discussion on that?
Does that work for you?
Well, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works. Do you need a motion to?
Yeah, if there's no further discussion, take a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the resolution 2502 establishing a regular meeting schedule.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay. Item 5.2, resolution 2503. A resolution by the Board of Fire Commissioners to authorize the following auditing officers to submit warrants and claims for payment and disbursement in accordance with the Shoreline Fire Department Policy 126.2 prior to board meetings taking action and approving said claims. And those authorized auditors would be the fire chief, deputy fire chiefs, and administrative director.
Could you explain just the terminology or the meaning of auditing officers, or that's just a technical term?
it's so that we can review and approve POs, vouchers, and so forth.
It's basically just a tab for having.
I agree. I think I agree with your question in that I think it's a weird term. It would be more like approval officers, or I don't know. Some auditing officer sounds not accurate. But we are auditing the expenses and vouchers and people, so maybe that is, it just didn't seem completely appropriate, but.
Now, question on this, auditing officers, so does that, do we still get as a board the expenditures for approval? Or does this eliminate the board approving all expenditures?
It would make it so that you still approve, you still have to sign off on the expenses, but you'd sign off the expenses.
After that.
Yeah.
You're signing off essentially on the auditor report.
No, that's okay, I just wanted to make sure, okay.
You still,
We still have that
you still get to see every, if you want it, you can see every, purchase and expense. That they get thick, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Amy?
If you're interested there, I have an email from Dawn that described this resolution, if that would be helpful for me to read.
you interested in that information?
I'm okay, I don't think we did this.
Does it just kind of explain what the,
Yeah, it's about giving the time, giving the auditing officers the ability to process vouchers in a timely manner. By having the chiefs and administrative director able to sign vouchers and send them immediately for processing by King County. Therefore, relieving the need to wait for commissioners to approve vouchers at a meeting. And then the vouchers are always available at Station 61. And when I talked to Dawn about this resolution, she said, if there's an error, like later, there's always a way to kind of back correct it. But maybe.
Well, and depending on the timing, it might not have been processed by King County, depend, because they take a couple of weeks. Typically.
Commissioner Wallem, any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Okay, accept a motion.
that we approved resolution 2503 appointing auditing officers.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. Any opposed? All right, seeing none. Resolution passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, item 5.3, resolution 2504, authorizing the use of e-signatures. I had a question on this one, Chief. Just the necessity of it, since we already have an existing resolution for the North Shore Board to accept e-signatures.
Well, actually, my understanding is that it's not, that you have not had the proper. That's what I was told. Is that correct, Amy?
Well, I'd have to look back at resolutions prior to 2020 or in the year 2020. But my understanding was that when meetings moved to Zoom, the process was set up where that we do now, which is after a meeting, I can send each of you an email. And then you reply to that email with a statement that's saying, this is my electronic signature.
Yep.
Statement with all the attachments from the meeting. So that's what we've been doing, but Shoreline has this form, electronic signature acknowledgement and consent form. So it has the image of your signature. And then you're basically, by signing this form, you're consenting to using this signature. So somehow so there will no longer be emails to you asking for you to reply.
So when vouchers are approved in the meeting, we are
Exactly.
consenting to our signature being
Exactly.
realized.
Yes, so there won't be this additional step of an email afterward that you have to reply to. So as long as whoever's present in the meeting, and it's noted in the minutes that it was approved, then your signature can just immediately be applied.
This was new for us, and so, but what we felt was that this form was the proper way to authorize it.
Well,
Other
I make a
questions?
motion that we accept resolution 2504 authorizing use of e-signatures.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
All right, moved and seconded.
Triple.
Yeah, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none. Resolution 2504 passes unanimously. All right, moving on, resolution 2505. Establishing district secretary. Appointing BOFA,
Yes.
last name
Sahara.
Sahara.
I didn't get
Bofa.
that right last.
As secretary of the district, effective immediately. The term of this appointment shall be indefinite until such times as the Board of Commissioners makes a new appointment. Okay, Any discussion, questions?
I make the motion that we accept resolution 2505, the new district secretary.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye, any opposed? Hearing none? All right, 2505,
First, I'm gonna express
yeah,
Appreciation
yes,
to-
yes.
our past up until this moment, our secretary. has done
You're still here.
Yeah,
You still have some responsibilities that we're gonna ask of you.
Yes.
yeah, thank you so much. for-
Yeah, I'll keep the computer through the end of the month and be working on website and just transition with Beatrice.
Okay.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
I think there's an, oh,
Do we have-
Yes, there is an oath here where we have to get BOFA to agree to support us and love us and faithfully serve us.
that's a stretch.
All right,
Here's one.
Microphone's over here.
yeah, let's come over here so the camera and the microphone. Okay, right hand raised, repeat after me, please. I, BOFA Sahara,
I, Bofa Sihara,
being duly appointed secretary to the Board of Fire Commissioners
be duly appointed to the Board of Fire Commissioner
of the North Shore Fire Department
of North Shore Fire Department
by resolution on May 6th, 2005,
by resolution on May sixth, 2025.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially,
that I
I
probably should,
will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially, there you go,
perform the duties of Secretary of the Board of Commissioners
perform the duty of the Secretary of the Board of Commissioners of the North Shore Fire Department
as prescribed by law
as prescribed by law
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability.
and that I will support and maintain
I will support and maintain
the laws and Constitution
the laws and constitutions of the state
of Washington and the United States.
of Washington and the United States.
Okay. Congratulations. How many different hats do you wear?
Is that, you're doing the same thing at the RFA too, aren't you?
Okay. All right. Moving on, item 6, consent agenda.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
So thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, let's take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. Any opposed? None. Okay, passes unanimously. Item 7, reports, fire chief report.
There's special meeting minutes. Or did you already get that?
That was approved.
Oh, sorry, my bad. My bad. The fire chief's report has not changed since the one that you received for the RFA. I didn't send it again. Were there any questions on any of that was going on?
No, I'm curious, update on the status of Bothell Fire and kind of where they're at with.
Yeah, so we're coming up on a year. Believe it or not, and so I've been asked to present to the council in early June. Just doing like a kind of a year in review, talking about the successes and the benchmarks that we've attained, reviewing some of the data and so forth, and then there'll be a question and answering session from the council. I'm not sure if they will end up asking about future steps or anything like that. I'm focusing on just basically the kind of a year in review, and then we'll see where it goes from there. It is a stretch, doing both, but I've got great support from the body and from the city administrators, both Kyle and Tony's, offer right now. But they've been great supporters of this. I've had one-on-ones with all the council members now. Just starting to develop the relationship and answer any questions that they may have. A couple of them were starting to ask about the next steps and all that, but most of it was just more of a meet and greet, developing the relationship. It's really just gonna be dependent on what the council, how they feel and how comfortable they feel taking the next steps. For me, the focus is really not on, on Bothell losing their fire department, of more of like, we're just joining together in a bigger partnership. But sometimes that can be really difficult. So hopefully we'll see. And I would like to be moving, early next year, on something, but again, that'll depend on what the council wants to do. So
I would note that city governments tend to really identify with their fire departments and
yeah,
so it's a harder separation than, two fire districts.
I would agree. But the heart and soul of the fire department is the guys and gals that are out there. I mean, and that's what I'm gonna be focusing on, is the firefighters are still the same firefighters. Whether they're wearing a different patch or a different name, or maybe it's even the same, who knows? I think that's what I'm gonna be focusing on, and that our mission is to serve. And if we're doing it in the most efficient way possible, a lot of good things can happen. If we're not, then, it can pose some questions as to, how do people, feel about, the level of service or what they're paying for that service. So that's what I try to focus
Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions for the chief? Okay, item 7.2 in the commissioner reports. And legal counsel is not here. Okay, upcoming board agenda items. We have the one outstanding item concerning legal counsel. Anything else that we need to place on our next regular meeting agenda?
on.
So our next regular meeting is still gonna be at 5:15 or 5 o'clock on the 15th?
Well, that's up to you guys. It is our, you have now established that the second meeting of the month at 5:15 is the regularly scheduled meeting.
Second.
So if you want to have the meeting on the 15th, then we can still have it.
Second meeting, third week.
Second meeting, third week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, third week, second meeting of the month.
Yes.
Sorry, second meeting of the month, third Thursday of the month
Third Thursday.
as our regularly scheduled meeting.
So
I don't really see much of a need for it. It would be nice to have the time slots for District 4, but I can always do District 4 at, like, say, 5 o'clock and not 5:15. But that means waiting until June 26th for your next meeting.
So on May 15th, the RFA meeting is gonna be here at
Yes.
5:30.
Correct.
And so if you had if you had the District 4 meeting, they would just be here.
We would, because that's our regularly scheduled day.
Mhm.
We would just change the time and location. It'd still be a regularly scheduled meeting, just change the time and location.
Mhm.
So right now, we only have one item on the agenda,
Yeah.
and I think that could wait till the 26th, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm anticipating that the shoreline meeting, the District 4 meeting, they'll need a little time to.
The only thing that's really gonna be on the agenda is the schedule. At this time,
Okay.
so, vouchers not approved, well, there might be some other business that I'm not thinking of right now. But it's gonna be pretty quick.
It's not a mirror meeting to this one then.
No. All that's on the agenda at this point, at least, is the setting the schedule.
All right, well then let's,
The only issue I see about June. 26th would be the vouchers for May, that'd be a late.
Well, I think because we just approved that
Oh,
auditing
they can do
officers,
yeah.
that takes care of that
Takes care of
issue.
that, we just vote on it, or do we even look at them?
You can look at, yeah, I
Or
mean,
do we get a list,
you'd get the normal whatever.
we still
uh,
get that,
I
okay,
think Dawn has a cover sheet.
no,
She's-
we'll still see it.
You'll still see the
That's
line
what I-
items.
Okay, so we're not impacting payment.
No.
It's okay.
Shouldn't.
May 26th works. Correct.
Actually, oh, go ahead.
So I'm hearing, we, cancel our newly formed regularly scheduled meeting on the third Thursday of the month. And our first one will happen, June 26th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
So, I'll just repeat this for the meeting minutes, but the regularly scheduled meeting on Thursday, May 15th is canceled. The regularly scheduled meeting that would be on June 19th, Thursday, is also canceled and is rescheduled for June 26th. So that will technically be a special meeting, so it follows the rules of the agenda has to be set 24 hours before June 26th.
Don't we have the ability to move a regular meeting now? Regular meeting date.
We've always just canceled it and then scheduled it as a special meeting when they've fallen on holidays.
I thought we had the ability to move a regular meeting and then we can follow regular meeting.
The districts do it differently. It's, we can clarify that.
Where's
Yeah,
that legal
not-
counsel?
Either way, yes, another question from Matt Paxton.
Maybe I should have Matt here.
Either way, it will be on the 26th. Okay. Anything else on future meeting agenda?
I'm not on that, but I want to thank Amy for being our district secretary for what, 3.5, 4 years?
4.5.
4.5 years, wow. You've been great.
Thank
Very-
you so
you're
much.
gonna be awesome.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
So with your indulgence, I'd like to read something.
Please.
So, bear with me because this is a little bit longer. In a tradition originating from World War I, the Shoreline Fire Department has designed and commissioned the striking of challenge coins. These challenge coins, while small in stature, are a significant symbol of pride. It is a token that reflects pride in not only being a firefighter, but a firefighter in the Shoreline Fire Department. It is a reminder of what we do, who we are, and that we are part of a larger extended family. We have standard challenge coins, but we also have a special challenge coin called the Chief's coin. The Chief's coin is not given out automatically to members, but rather it is a coin that is earned. It can be earned through many different manners, such as, but not limited to, taking on extra responsibilities, extraordinary events, exemplary performance, and commendable professionalism, or representation of our organization. These coins are numbered so that the department can identify those individuals that have gone above and beyond in one way or another. Today, I'm privileged to recognize District Secretary Amy Oakley with the issuing of a Chief's coin. Over 4 years ago, Amy volunteered to help out at the North Shore Fire Department as a part-time district secretary. This was supposed to be only for 4 months. She's 4 months. Yeah. While the department was restructuring and defining its future. She not only leaned into the work of supporting the Board of Commissioners, but she has been a critical piece to our success in recent years. Over 3 years ago, the North Shore Fire Department entered into a partnership with the Shoreline Fire Department in an interlocal agreement, and earlier this year, this relationship was formalized in a regional fire authority. While Amy could not have foreseen the increased workload and responsibility when she first joined the department, she not only provided outstanding work, but she did so without missing a beat. And she did so by selflessly extending her commitment to help the department, which is consistent with her dedication to service. She will be greatly missed. So today, May 6, 2025, I hereby recognize District Secretary Amy Oakley for the extra effort in the performance of her duties, awarding her the Chief's coin, issuance number 38.
Thank you all.
So, you check my head.
Thank you.
So. This one's for your personnel record, and this one's for you. So if I could have you sign. That's the way I do this too, because I practiced on this one, but this one's for you. This one's for you, so. So this is the coin, which was designed, and it's got some engravings there, but right there is, it's hard to see. It's engraved with the 38.
Thank you so much.
38
That's
points.
very special. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of the work that you've done. We could not have gotten through this without you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you will be missed.
Thank you. Thank you all of you too for this opportunity, and I've learned so much. I have truly enjoyed all my time spent with you these Tuesday evenings. It's been a real joy, and I feel very loyal to you, and so thank you for all of this, and welcoming my family too. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Very special. Thank you.
I'll forward you a little bit of history on the coin too, because it's a whole page. It's an interesting history of the Belly Place.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
All right, with no objection. Sure.
Thank you, Amy.
How